Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Obipro Ghosh and Sneha Priya from Team Envisage 2021, your host for today. We welcome you to the second online e-summit of Technomed Salt Lake Envisage 2021. eTalks is the platform where we get to have eminent personalities sharing their experiences and learning towards their success with us. We will interview them and know more about their lives after they have shared their journey with us. We will ask them the questions that you, our audience, have been curious to know. Today's guest of the evening of eTalks is a very eminent person whom I admire the most, an outstanding personality, health and performance specialist, an author and entrepreneur, and a helping hand who has been helping many young minds to innovate and build their career.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause for Mr. Manish Kumar Saraf. Mr. Saraf is the founder and CEO of Ujjivan Healthcare and also an entrepreneur. He is a healthcare and performance specialist on a mission to empower young professionals to live a disease free, healthy life. He was adjudged as the state champion, the state level elocution contest organized by IPA on the topic Vision 2020, role of a pharmacist in reducing medication errors. Mr. Saraf, how have you been?
Well, thank you so much for this wonderful introductions, Sneha and Abhiprio. It's an absolute honor to be in the company of wonderful young minds. And things have been really great, and I hope that all of you are doing great in this pandemic situation.
I hope you are safe and sound from the outburst of COVID 19.
Yeah.
Sir, we are very fortunate and glad to have you with us on eTalks. Now, I would like to hand over the mic to Abhipriyu to take over.
Thank you, Sneha. Mr. Saurabh, we are really glad to have you here on eTalks. Having an extraordinary vision to empower people with diabetes, lead an extraordinary life by addressing their inner transformations, nutrition, and physical activity. Sir, what drives you to such a wonderful vision?
For me, whenever I think about the situation as to why I'm doing, as to what I'm doing now, I I reflect back to how the entire journey started. And when I was in pharmacy school. I started pharmacy school, in fact, in 2001, and it was during that period that I got the first-hand exposure of what impact does medicines have and how it can change the way we look at healthcare. And that was a kind of transformation that was having that started in my mind. And it was during this period also that I got the opportunity of working with an NGO, and which gave me first-hand experience of how things are impacted at the last mile, at the ground level. So that was a phase in my college when I was going through this mindset shift as to the impact that I can bring as a professional in medicine, and also as to what are the social impacts which any particular line of practice can have in our society. So I would quickly like to reflect on how everything started, and like after college, I started one of the rural healthcare projects in which we used to take mobile clinics to very interior villages in some parts of Bankura district. It was during this particular project in which I was working very closely with Institute of Management IIM Calcutta, wherein we used to apart from taking mobile clinics, we also used to do surveys in interior villages. It was during one of such visit when I came across a lady. I was interacting with a lady, and that particular incident, I think I would never be able to forget for the rest of my life. And when I came to this lady's house, I came to know that this very old lady, she might be in her 60 mid 60s. She was all on herself, and the only means of livelihood that she had was the cow that she used to milk and sell the milk. But in one of her visits to the government hospital, she was told that now she has been diagnosed with diabetes, and then she she did not want to get herself treated at the government hospital. So she traveled almost 10 to 15 kilometers to come to a nearby town to get herself treated by a specialist doctor. And this I am talking about around um, uh, about 10 years back, when this incident happened. It was at that point of time that the lady gave a good amount of consultation fee to the doctor, and the prescription which was generated, uh, that that prescription meant that the lady will have to spend every month on medicine 3 to 3.5 thousand rupees. And the lady completely was so much overwhelmed with the fact that she has been treated by a specialist doctor, that in order to buy medicines and take care of the expenditure, she sold the only means of livelihood that she had, the cow. And the person who bought that cow, he knew that the lady is desperate for money, so he financially exploited her. And when we did the math, we realized that whatever money has been generated, along with other expenditures, that money would last just for a few couple of months. So the question in front of me came was, what would happen after that? The means of livelihood is gone. There is no one else to support that old lady. So what happens next? This question, this question still haunts me. And another question that comes in my mind is, what kind of a development are we talking about in our country when we boast about robotic surgery in one hand, but on the other hand, people are selling off their basic needs to buy regular medicines. So this is something, this incident, I was not able to help that lady at that point. I didn't have any solution. And but this is one incident which completely changed the way in which I look at things, the way in which I look at healthcare. And this is something which made me do what I am doing today. And after that, I understood that something needs to be done about chronic diseases. Something needs to be done about the cost of regular medicines. And which is why at that point of time, a project got started, which is making available good quality generic medicines for people in our area. And I started gradually doing research on what is diabetes, how it could be treated well. And yeah, so that's how it all got started. And the more I started interacting with people, I realized that this is when it comes to chronic diseases and the cost related to it, I came across certain facts that chronic diseases like diabetes is completely curable. And even if a person is diabetic, with proper guidance, they can reverse it. And when it comes to cost, there are ways and means in which we can definitely reduce the burden of the cost on a particular family. So yeah, that's how it all got started. Yeah.
It was really eye-opening, sir. But before we move on, let me remind you that you are watching eTalk and Research 2021 with Obipreo and Sneha, and we have with us Mr. Manish Kumar Saraf.
So, being the founder and CEO of Ujjivan Healthcare and being an entrepreneur yourself, how would you suggest new businesses reach out to potential clients?
That's an interesting question, because every business house reaching out to the clients is the most important thing when it comes to business. And well, one important mistake, I would say, which business houses or aspiring entrepreneurs do when they think about any particular idea, they immediately jump into trying to identify ways in which they can do a particular thing, like how to they start getting involved into those how-to questions, how to get the customer, how to reach the customer. In fact, prior to asking ourselves how to reach the customer, there are two other steps that we need to follow. And this is something which brings the C difference. And I think the complete set gets the complete process starts with first asking why I am doing it, and then identifying what I want to do. And once you are there, then we identify how we want to do it. Because let me give you an example, and I'm sure you would be able to relate to it. when students are there in a professional college, you ask them, why are you doing this particular whichever stream you are in? You would hardly, in fact, I have found hardly or majority of the students who do not have clarity as to why they are doing it. And the only question that is there in front of them is how can I get a good job once the college is over? So I think educational institutes should somehow bring in this culture of helping the students identify their why, and then they would themselves figure out what they want to do. Whether going into the job sector is something which is important for them, or whether creating a business solution is something that they should be thinking about. So getting into the why is very important. Let me share a story. I'm sure this would bring a little more clarity as to how we should be thinking about and what should be our thought process. Like, say, I'm bringing in a kind of extreme situation which would help me make my point. Say, one of my family members is in a kind of situation, in a life and death situation, right? So at that point of time, if I look as a family member, my entire objective is how to bring the other person out of the life threat. So my why becomes that I want to bring that person out of the life threat. How do you think at that point of time that how matters? If one hospital doesn't provide me a doctor, wouldn't I find another way of reaching to another doctor? So how strong that the most strongly I'm connected to my why, I would somehow find the solution as to how I would reach to it. So this is one way, and this is the most important way our thought processes should be. And coming to how we can reach to our clients, I think the way the entire industry is moving, take it any industry across the globe, the way things are changing fast, the way the impact of IT is coming into our lives, the way impact of artificial intelligence is coming in our lives, it's a high time that we also think about upgrading our skills to the next level, and again connecting it to why, to the why of our lives. I'm sure many of you would have heard about Amazon Go. In the US, Amazon has come up with this concept of Amazon Go, wherein you enter into an Amazon store. There is no cashier, no security. You just walk in, pick up a product, and walk out, and that product would be billed to your bank account. No cashier. So, with the help of technology, the job of the cashier is gone. With the help of technology, the job of the person who was standing at the departmental store helping you identify products, that job is gone. So with time, things are changing so fast that we just having a degree is not sufficient, right? So we need to upgrade our skills, and also the more strongly we are connected to our clients, and we need to understand what are the demands of our clients. One basic mistake which I find that entrepreneurs, business houses fail to do is they do not have a complete clarity as to who their clients are. Something that I've started a business, I would automatically start getting inquiries and getting conversions. That doesn't happen, and which is why this pandemic has taught us a lesson. Whoever was not prepared, they have faced really, really very difficult times, and irrespective of the industry. So even if we talk about the hospitality industry, hotels, restaurants, during the pandemic, they were completely closed. However, people who were strongly connected to their clients, who were flexible in their thinking, who knew how to go out of the way and find new ways of reaching their achieving their goals in life, they came up with concepts like cloud kitchen. They came up with concepts like online classes incorporating their chefs so that they can teach cooking to their prospective clients. So these are the new concepts which has helped businesses to survive. So the crucial point here is how strongly we know what is our why we are doing this particular business, how strongly we know our existing and prospective customers, and then whatever be the situation, we would definitely find a way of reaching to them.
That was really insightful, sir. I'm sure our audience must be enjoying every bit of it.
Sir, having you in our show, our audience has been wanting to know your views on diabetes prevention and methods to take care of oneself having diabetes.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, if we look at diabetes, then all these years, whatever information is floating around us, that if we, and generally, in general terms, the way we know diabetes is that the blood sugar increases and we get into complications. And the moment we reach a doctor, the entire objective is how to bring down the blood sugar in our, the level of the sugars in our blood. However, the increase in blood sugar is only the symptom, it is not the disease. That is the basic, I think, mistake in the way we look at diabetes. And which is why these days there is a huge concept which is coming up and bringing in a lot of impact is how can we reverse diabetes? If we go to any doctor, the general information which we would get is that we'll have to be on medicines for lifetime. This disease cannot be reversed. So these are the myths that we need to break. And there are practitioners who are breaking this myth. There are diabetes educators like myself who are breaking this myth that chronic diseases like diabetes can be treated and can be reversed. So if I just highlight the few basic things as to how we can deal with it if someone is diabetic, then yes, the broader aspects of looking at things is how we deal with our nutrition, and how we deal with the physical fitness that we have, and how we can take care of the stress level. So stress is something which is quite evident in our lives even at younger ages. So if we look at about 15-20 years back, then or even a decade back, then diabetes used to be a disease of older people. But these days, you would find even people in the age band of 35, 40, they are getting diabetic. And one of the major aspects is the kind of stress that we go through. Even students in colleges, these days, they have so much of pressure about the careers that they want to take after education. And that they are continuously in this stress, and stress is something which brings in a kind of hormonal disbalance in our body. So that is one aspect, and how we deal about it. And at the same time, how we once we are diabetic, something what we call is monitoring. A regular monitoring of our body vitals is something which is very important. And well, although these are the broader aspects, whenever we talk about being healthy, the general concepts which come in front of us is good food, good physical fitness, stress-free life, and taking care of all the body vitals. But at the same time, one message which I would also like to give to all the students who are watching, and even people who are in any phase of their life, is whatever we do, we have to be not just upgraded as to what is latest that could be provided as a service, but we also need to be the best in providing the service, so that we cannot be replaced by our competitors. And which is why when we talk about generalized perspectives of being healthy when it comes to diabetes, I would like to ask a question to whoever is listening over here, is if just maintaining good health, is just maintaining good food, good physical fitness, stress-free life, if these were the components of being healthy, then why do incidences like the one which happened with Mr. Saurav Ganguly the former Indian captain of Indian cricket team, which we heard that he went through a cardiac arrest a few months back, and not just one but twice in the same month, in spite of being treated by the best doctor, Dr. Devi Shetty. Why did that happen? Do you think Saurav Ganguly did not have access to good food, did not have access to nutrition, or did he not have access to good physical fitness advice? Well, so which is why it is very important to understand that each body is different, and we need to talk about how we can look into the particular requirement of our body. So yes, broadly, good nutrition is important, and there are certain myths even in the nutrition world that when it comes to diabetes, people have a belief that they need to restrict their diet, and when it comes, this word dieting, diet or dieting has so much impact that people start eating less, and even they are not eating what is required. So yes, there are certain ways in which food restrictions have to be made, but our body needs a particular level of nutrition, and if that minimum level of nutrition is not provided to the body starts getting more sick rather than getting healthy. So concepts like we shouldn't be eating oily food, well, that's a complete myth. In fact, we should be choosy about which oils we should be consuming, and a certain amount of oil is very important when it comes to our daily diet. So yes, even in nutrition world, there are a lot of things which is stopping diabetic people to be healthy and be more dependent on medicines. So when we talk about diabetic reversal, first we need to get ourselves properly reviewed, and if we search for experts of diabetic reversal on Google, I'm sure you would come across some of the best people. Although this group of people is very small in India, but you would find people who are practicing diabetic reversal, and so rather than thinking about how we can treat this with medicines, I think we should be talking about diabetic reversal and searching about diabetic reversal, and there are services available in India.
Wow, I'm sure our audience must be very relieved to know this. Envisage 2021 has come up with a plethora of events and competitions to encourage entrepreneurship spirit and overall productivity. To know more, do check out us at envisage.life.
So, during this pandemic, how did Ujjivan Healthcare tackle and overcome this tough situation?
Well, I think as I had previously mentioned that if it is very important that we are very much connected with with what goals we have in our life, and how our business is connected with that particular goal. If we are unable to if we are just doing it for this if we are doing a particular business just for the sake of money, then I think a mindset shift needs to be done, because money cannot be the result. Money is always a byproduct. The moment we think that I am doing business for money, well, there is a basic foundational error that has happened over there, and it is these kind of people with these kind of mindset which face the difficulty first whenever any tough situation comes in. So I would once again like to repeat that money cannot be the result of any particular business. Money is always a byproduct, and the businesses should always be created for the kind of service that we want to provide. And again, it gets connected to and it has to be strongly connected to the reason why we are doing it. So what is my why I am doing this particular business? And we need to understand our clients in the best possible way. So if the kind of example which I shared with you for people in the hospitality industry who like how we can bring in for restaurants. So people who knew and about their customers well, they came up with solutions like Cloud Kitchen. So again, for people who are in the coaching business, physical classes were completely shut off. So with the help of technology, online coaching became the way of doing business in the coaching world. So I would say that why just pandemic? Any other difficulty which comes across us as a society as a whole, or an individual entrepreneur, we have to be very clear, and it is this clarity which also brings in the steps that we take, so that we are pre-prepared as to take care of any difficulty, because the more clarity we have of dealing with our customers, dealing with our business, we get this ability of to foresee what's coming in our line of business. Although it is very difficult to say that we can foresee everything, but we can be more prepared. Yeah.
That was insightful. Though we would have loved to hear more from you, unfortunately, we have exhausted our time today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And with that, we come to an end to today's session of eTalk and with us 2021 with Sneha and Abhipriyo. And we have with us Mr. Manish Kumar Saraf. Stay home, stay safe, and get vaccinated at your earliest availability.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. And
Thank
well,
you,
before
sir.
we end, I would just like to convey my gratitude to the Institute, Abhipriya, Sneha, and Shovik, who informed me and shared this invitation with me. Well, it was fun, and I really loved every moment of time that we spent together. Thank you.